Welcome to Prime Testimony Channel. First of all, I want to say a very big thank you for those of you watching my videos, and I will encourage more of you to watch the videos. I will encourage you to like them and make comments. I'm so appreciative of your support. Today, my subject is centered upon the grace of God. Why the grace of God? Growing up in Africa, there are so many things we went through, and even some still go through. And you get to a point, and looking back, you can see that you are where you are because of the grace of God. Some of the things that we went through were difficult. Some of them were painful, some of them were ridiculous. For some of them, we bore those pains out of ignorance. But thankfully, we went through them and acquired the lessons therein. It is by God's grace. This conversation or this video was motivated by a conversation that we started. A former office colleague of mine called Sam and another colleague called KK. We started some interesting conversation about issues of the past, and just gingered me to quickly do this video. If you grew up in Africa, you realize that people go through things. In my previous video, one of my videos, I made mention that some people go through challenges because some people leave completed work for the latter generation to come and continue. That is why as long as you live, you must do what you are supposed to do, and until God calls you, you try to finish what you are supposed to finish within the years God has given you on earth, so that you don't leave any burden behind as much as possible. We talk about the number of bottles of Fantas, the number of cokes that we used to drink within the whole year, how it was even shared. And I believe those of you who might have grown up in villages, you remember the big cup, the one that when it falls from a part can peel. Yes, that was the kind of cup that was being used at the village. And when your granny goes somewhere and brings a bottle of Coke, you remember the number of children that will share that Coke. You remember you go to farm, the kind of heavy load that you will carry. Oh my goodness. Sometimes without wearing trousers. And there's this we call insasson, some kind of leaf that when it touches your skin, it itches badly. And because of that, I hated farm. Subsistence farming that was being practiced during those days, and even now, is some way. Farming is good. But Charlie, those times, the way the thing was being done, and even now, I had a second thought. We thank God that these days some few people have started mechanized farming, but even that one is not on a larger scale. The time you wake up, the time you prepare, you cook your own food because your parents wanted you to learn to cook. And then you go to school, you come and help at the kitchen. Sometimes you have to go long distances and go and meet your parents who have gone to the farm and carry heavy load, to go and help carry the load back home. By the time you get home, you were so exhausted. There was no electricity, but we had to make way or find way to learn. Those of you who have lived in Africa, especially in Ghana, knows what we call bobo or seboiros or opusua. One kind of light, it has a lot of names. You can use a tin of a Milo or Overton or something, and then you put wick in it, and then you fix a wick, and it comes out, and then you put kerosene inside the container, and you light it. And sometimes the whole house, you may have only one or two. So we learned and passed our exams without electricity. So to the current generation, we say you have no excuse if you have electricity 24/7 and you are giving excuses and you are not learning. I think sometimes it will be helpful for the current generation to hear the stories of their fathers and mothers, especially those who started life from village or those who grew up in village, so that their stories can motivate them to do more. There was nothing like extra classes. Of course, there was no computer where when you are giving any assignment, you can, go and research like the way by the click of the button you'll be able to, get information from the computer. Everything you have to memorize it in your head. So it was totally different, issue from that time compared to what we are experiencing now. So Charlie, those times it was not easy. It was not easy. Some of the things that we went through are so painful that talking about them, you don't know. That is why it is important sometimes to reflect on some of these things so that you can appreciate the grace of God that has brought you this far. It is very, very important, because until you go through that one, you may never appreciate what the Lord has done for you. So every day you have to meditate, think through the years. And I believe when you do that constantly, it will keep your spirit and your soul humble. And it will even influence you the way you treat people at work, treat people at school, treat people everywhere. It is very important to do this kind of reflection. This Prime Testimony channel, I will